Now give me the beat.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the modelling tutorials. So let's quickly remind ourselves of what we were doing in the previous episode. So as you can see here, we kind of took one dome, copied it over to the other side, and we were able to make a slightly elevated structure here. So we're starting to come to the end of the tutorials for modelling now, and what I'll be doing is moving over to a slightly more basic model and getting that in game and unwrapping it. So I won't be unwrapping this model and texturing this model and getting this model in game, because it would just be too difficult, because it takes a lot of time. So what I'll do is I will kind of make a little bit more of a basic model just to show you how it's done. So there's also a bit more for you to work out and keep the enjoyment in it. So without further ado, we're just going to make a few more tweaks to this building and kind of work things out from there. So let's quickly go up here and we can turn it onto shaded and click Z on it to even it out. So we've got to kind of think of what might be nice to add, and I quite like the fact it's fully open. However, there's one thing that would be quite nice, and hitting F4, it would be, well, a floor somewhere around in the middle, if possible. I'm not 100% sure whether we're going to be able to at the moment, but if not, it's not going to be the end of the world. Let's have a look here. I don't think we're going to be able to make a floor there at the moment, but oh well, it can kind of be a high kind of floor. So what we're going to do now is we're going to kind of make a side asset that we might be able to maybe place on the top. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to make a little radio tower. So let's hit T and centralize it. And what we're going to do first of all is we are going to get a cylinder. Height segments we want as 1. Let's go for 20 sides, because we're not going to make it too big. There we go. F, we go to front, we can drag this up like this. I guess let's have a look here. What we're going to do is press T. Going to drag that there. We want an instance, and the reason why we want it to be an instance is this is all going to be the same grouped model. And whoops. Undo that. And instance, there we go. So what we're going to do now is we're going to isolate this selection here. We're going to push G on the grid. What we're now going to do is we're now going to move these over so that we can centralize them like that. It's going to move this one over, and we're using the green and red X and Y arrows to connect them, or to link them so they're central, or as central as we can do it. Like that. Like that, and like that. So there we go. Now when we have a look, we will see that it's linked. We can go ahead and we want to convert them to a editable poly. Editable poly, there we go. So they're all editable polys at the moment. And just to make sure, what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach it to that one, to that one, to that one. So they're now all the same one, they're now all cylinders. So what we can quickly do is, using the one, to select vertexes, we can kind of go back out here. So, how tall is a radio tower? Well, I'm not too sure, but I think we can make it a little bit taller than that. I quite like that height. It's quite well done there. Let me isolate the selection again. And I think we need a cross beam going over it. So there's a couple of ways we can do this, and we're going to use the slice plane again. So we're going to find a nice little spot and slice, go up a little bit, slice, go up a load more, slice, up a little more here, and slice again. So when we zoom in now, or click off, you'll see that we have a load more here. We can go ahead and select these, and we don't need them all. So what we're going to do is we are going to press L for left view. We're going to unselect these, and we are going to go ahead and select these three in the middle. It's kind of a bit of a guessing game, but should still be fine. Pressing 3 to get the edge tool. Go ahead and select those and click bridge. If you've got them right, it shouldn't look weird like that. I've been able to bridge it. So, same with this one. Work out which ones are the center. Like, so it's not that one, I believe. It will be... Okay, let's leave those out. I don't think we can do that edge. That one, that one, that one. Unselect those. And this one is, I believe... this one, and this one. As I say, it's trial and error. You can always undo and go back, and we can click bridge there. That looks good. Okay, we're going to try something slightly different than what I was previously going to do. We can go ahead and hit 4 again. This time we're just going to delete them in quick succession. Leave it's that one. I believe it, undo those 3 there, and then moving over to here, these 3. So we're going to hit delete. We're going to press 3 again, and we're going to select this one. See if we got these 2 right. Undo. They look good. And we're going to move on to this one here, this one here, and we're going to click bridge again. Alright, so they look good. So what we can also go ahead and do now is pressing front view, selecting all these. We can go ahead and use the slice plane, but this time we're going to cut about here, and then we're going to cut about here. And what this should allow us to do, if it works, would be to cut that edge off, cut that edge off, using the edge select and the edge select, go ahead and bridge them like that. And we can do the same over the other side, but we're going to do the alternating edges. There, there, and there. Hit delete. And bridge. So now if we view it from the front, kind of looks crisscrossed, even though it's not, which is not too bad. So we now need to, or we're now going to want a bit of a kind of grouping, and I think it might look quite cool if we find the corner point and the corner point, hit delete. It's all about trial and error. Some things don't look right, some things do, and if you like them you just continue with them, like that. And then we also want this edge, and we want this edge, I believe. Not that edge, we're going to go for that edge. We're going to hit delete, and we're going to click here. There we go. It's not the best way to do this because we have overlapping edges, but for now it's not going to be too bad. So I think it might be quite cool if we can have some sort of dome. So with a slight twist. So what we can do is we can go ahead and hit T, find the center point, and draw ourselves. Let's try again. Somewhere in the center. Draw ourselves a cylinder about that big. Alright, that looks good enough. And we're going to go ahead and convert. Going to go to the front view and drag it up. Like that. And we can kind of just make it... Ooh. Do we make it sit in like that? Well, I don't. I think it might be quite cool if we quickly move it up. Ooh. Like that. Like that, hit delete. So we've now got all of these edges that don't have a face. Go ahead and select these, and we can go ahead and try and weld them together, and they will start to weld in the middle like that. And then all we need to do, hit F and select all of these lines. We're going to scroll down to make planar, and we're going to do it on, I think it's the Y axis. Nope. Let's try the X. Nope. It's going to be the Z then. There we go. It's going to be the Z, so we can go ahead and hit 5, select the whole shape, and place it nicely on the top, like that. There we go. If we just tweak it slightly so it fits well on them all. There we go. We kind of got a weird looking lid there, but what we can now do is we can Control S. It's not going to work, so we're going to have to hit Control. Select all of these. Oops. Like this. To get it balanced. Like so. And let's go up by 15. And again, I'm going to select these ones, and we're going to this time hit R, and then we're going to bring them in a bit like that. So this time when we extrude it, we can go up, but it won't be by such a tall amount. What we're actually going to do now is we're going to select all of this, like so, and we're going to hold down S, drag it to the side. Reason for this is because we don't need any of the, whoops, we don't want to have to go through and place more shapes. So what we can do now is hit F. We can maybe let's go for L. There we go. Slide to the left. To put it into the left view, we can hit E for rotate. Make sure angle snapping's on. Holding down this side, we can tilt it off there. We can bring it out like that, and I think it needs to be slightly angled up, like so. And let's just double check that hasn't done anything it shouldn't do, and we can go ahead and weld those together like that. Right, so we've now got this dish, but we kind of want it to look more like a dish, so I think what we can do is we can go ahead and pull that in like that. And if we wanted to, what we could do is go ahead and select them all. So we can go into the L view like that, unselect all the faces you don't want. Okay, so it's just done it again. Okay, so what we can do is we can quickly go through. It's going to be quite difficult because it's at an angle and because of how it's been pushed in. And then keep going. And we can inset it by a decent amount to say there. We can extrude that. We can then go ahead and select it all, I think. Like, just make sure we select that like that. We can go ahead and weld it again. There we go. And to me, that looks like quite a good Doppler radar. We can go ahead and make sure that it's all a nice grey colour. Same with this. Go ahead and change it to grey. Like that. And we can load up the material editor. Or we can load up the material editor like this. Throw on the grey. And what we can do is we can go ahead and throw a black object colour on it. Like that. So let's now end the isolate, and if we have a look now, you will see that we have quite a cool looking Doppler radar, which we can go ahead and keep separate, but we're going to go over here to sphere and we can rename it Doppler radar cylinder 2. We can call it the radar stand. There we go. So we're starting to come into more complex styles of building where we can add more things to the creation. Like I say, from now on, as we're starting to get nearer and nearer to the building, I'm probably going to start to edge off from adding more and more to this building, move on to more of taking a building that's a bit more basic, unwrapping it, texturing it, putting it in game. But I'm probably going to put that as a separate series. So this series is probably going to continue, but it will develop more into a bit more advanced modelling and making different models, whereas the other series will talk more about configuring models into Arma 3 itself, and everything you need to know about that. So that will be coming in a separate series, and that will probably start quite soon. But in regards to the model itself and this model, I'll be continuing it. I may even post it up somewhere so everyone can have access to this model, and if they want to unwrap this model, then of course they can. Like I say, the main reason is I don't want to be spending 5 hours unwrapping it in front of you guys, which is what it sometimes can be. So the unwrapping task will be a lot easier as well. It will just be easier for you to watch, and maybe more relatable to your models. So thank you ever so much for watching, guys, and thank you for the continued support on this series. As I say, if you're enjoying it, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and comment any questions you might have, and I'll be sure to get to them for you. You might have some questions on how we can make certain things, and we can try and work on those in future episodes. As I say, look out for when the configging and model texturing tutorials come out, because they shouldn't be too long till they do, and we'll start getting things actually working in game. So thanks for watching, guys, and hope you enjoyed.